Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir El from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will talk about how to create your consulting firm, and we will do that with Stefan Boleniger from Be On Quality. So Stefan, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Hello, nice for having me.
Exactly.
Very nice to be back because been a long time not on the episodes, so
Yeah,
it's
but this
good to
time
be
is a
here.
new episode, new type of episode. So we call it from zero to one. So the objective is that you are sharing your experience or how you have made your business working, etc. So this is mainly we try to make an inspirational episode for people that are thinking of also making maybe their consulting firm, and then how maybe you can inspire them and tell them what you have done good, what you have done bad, what they should not do, etc. So let's maybe start with that. So what I'm willing maybe for the beginning is that if you can share maybe your story behind Beyond Quality, so mainly where when this all started and why did you start this?
Okay, that's not it's quite funny. So I read the MDD as a draft when I was 8.5 years old. So
Okay,
there was the MDD as a draft, so it was 1992 something-ish, and or a bit earlier already, and I have been utilizing the draft and looking into that and said, oh, okay. And because my father was in medical devices, and at that point, and also when I grown older, I never wanted to go into medical device area.
okay,
Because my father is there, I don't want to follow that. Well, it ended up on a different way, but it was quite okay. It was pretty funny because at home then I can share a lot of the stories and tell a lot of things what has happened in the past, what is now, and that's fun. However, how I started it, and I was an engineer, not very creative, and then I went into quality management for automotives and
okay,
renewable energies. That was my first thing, and then I went towards my wife in the city Nuremberg, and I changed the job, and I met a very inspiring person, my former mentor and still my mentor, who owns a medical device company. And I was quality manager there at that company, which was rather good. It was quite interesting. It made a lot of fun to work there, and I learned a lot. I really learned a lot in that years, and also learned a lot about very good people, how to talk with that people in that areas, and also a lot of guys, female and male, who are very inspiring. And one day he came to me and asked, "Hey, Stefan, um, I bought another company, and I think you were a good fit for the quality manager for SEA. Have you ever considered going freelance?"
okay,
I said, okay, that sounds interesting. I said, yeah, try it. If it does not work out, I will take you back.
okay,
Said, okay, that sounds good. It's a very safe net. Let's try. Let's try. So then after that, very shortly, the German bureaucracies, but that's actually not that bad. When you come from regulatory equality, the German bureaucracy is not that bad either. So you go through that, do that. Then I have my first two clients, and yeah, then I went on, went forward. And I had, since I am also lecturer in the University of Nuremberg, I had a working student at that time. She just
okay,
finished her bachelor degree in the beginning of about the MDR and implications of MDR, which was a pretty good one at that time because that was 2018. 2017,
yes, I
2017,
said yeah,
in the beginning of 2017. So it was prior MDR was in place.
okay,
And she created that, made a lot of effort, and said, she would be, she would be a great hire, but I need to step up in that case. I didn't do it.
okay,
It's did let that opportunity slip away. And she studied then her master's degree. She's now a very wonderful, powerful young woman and has made a good way, but unfortunately not with me in my
okay,
company. And later on, after I've seen that, I said, okay, if I want to grow, if I want to have different setups, different clients, I need to evolve. As a single person, you can't do that.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's
you need to
difficult.
stuff. Yeah, it's super difficult. And because I only can do one thing good, and I don't have too many hours left. So then yeah, I started to found the company, the BioQuality GmbH at that point, and attracted the first few hires from persons I already know. Persons are good in my communication styles and are very good based on my spirit about them. Not the best trained persons, however, persons we could use together for projects. That must be the first thing. Then I hired a more experienced one, which I have known from another company. She's still in the company, and I'm very, very happy about the first few hires, which has been great. And then it evolved. Then we had a few, yeah, bigger projects, a lot of bigger projects, long-term projects. Then we grew into our, since we live nearby Nuremberg. So we have Erlangen, and therefore we have 500 medical device companies around the area. They are easy to attach, and they are easy to get by the great by evening events or by organizational things, and that's quite straightforward and good to do. So we get the people. So we hired that peoples, and yeah, we got new clients. We attracted new clients by referrals, by additional conferences and whatever is needed. Yeah, and then we grow and grow and grow. In most cases, the hires went out well, sometimes not, but it's normal. It's a
Yeah,
thing you need to learn during that story, which everyone needs to learn that not every partnership is perfect. Sometimes it is perfect for a certain time. Sometimes after a certain time or a point, it does not work. Everyone needs to learn that. And that's same in business.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just also
yeah,
come back to the name Beyond
yeah.
Quality. Why Beyond Quality? Do you have a story of this, or how did it come to you Beyond Quality?
Meet Alex. He needs to create an electronic instruction for use. With EasyIFU, he uploads the document and in just a second gets a QR code. The code is printed on the packaging and shipped with the product. The user receives it, scan it, and the IFU appears fast and always up to date. Simple, fast, paperless. Easy IFU, the smart way to manage your IFUs.
Okay. My surname Boleniger was a B. And so it was B quality in the beginning. And as we created the GmbH, that naming was not available because of the German register and the trademarkings and all that funny things. And then we started, okay, what's the best one that, yeah, I don't know, after. So was in that discussion, there have been a few other people involved with people I know since quite a long time. There have been a bit of alcohol in the game as well, and then we came up with beer quality. Yeah, and that's it. It's
It was
there's no
it was
it's
good because the first time I heard this name, I said I find it really original and find it like oh Beyond Quality. Whoa. It's not like those companies that consulting GmbH whatever or best consultant etc. No, it's like Beyond Quality, which is like to the top of what you are doing mainly. Let's be on quality
exactly.
and let's do that. So
Exactly. At that time when we created that, there was no talk about ChatGPT, Copilot, or others. So we
exactly.
need to devise it by ourselves. And yes, I can tell you there was a bottle of gin involved. So yeah,
Okay, I understand that. So in terms of because you mentioned that yeah, you are hiring people and growing and growing and growing.
yeah,
So um, were you afraid at the beginning of hiring people because hiring is
yes.
like you have to create a contract, you have to be sure to pay them every month, etc. So what was your maybe feeling at that moment to say I hire people?
In the first one, that's why in which one I made that mistake not to hire her. And
Okay.
that took away, that was my fear. I cannot do that. I cannot hire a person. And that was my fear. And afterwards, I've seen the negative point about why didn't I do hire her? And that cleared it out for me for the past, for the future, and then I just look into numbers and see, okay, do we think we can fill that role? Is that a good person? Is the spirit okay? Is that the person we want to work with? Do we have a certain amount of contracts secured? Do we want to grow? Yes, go forward.
Jump.
Half numbers, half of spirit.
But
And
here,
yeah, go ahead.
I think for you, it's like taking a risk and you accept to take this risk.
Yes, you need to. If you want to grow, you need to accept risks. That's the same if for anyone who wants to create a startup. They need to take risks. That's the same in that business. If you want to go from freelance to company, you need to take that risk.
And at this moment, were you married with,
Yes.
did you have family and everything, or?
I have still no kids, so for me that's quite secure. And I have a wonderful supporting wife.
Okay,
Actually, I'm so super happy to have my wife. She's paid by the government in Bavaria anyway, so that's super secure, and she's so much supporting,
because
which makes
I remember
yeah.
myself when I created my company, it was more like I have first to convince her that we should do that because you move from a secure job with a good salary and everything to like jumping to I don't know where because you have no clue where you are going there. And yeah,
Yes, yes, and that's good. If you have that relationships, it's the same as I have. It's good because you get a very unbiased, direct, but supportive critics.
exactly, true,
And that's good. That's really good. It helps you a lot in that journey. Especially the same was when I started it. I said, hey, I want to go freelance. What? I was the first freelance or entrepreneur or founder into my whole family. So no one has ever done that pathway. And it could have been the wrong way, possibly. But I'm very happy about my mentor, Armin, at that point, because he said, hey, I can hire you back. And
exactly.
that gave my wife a sufficient security to say, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, and I think this is also the point of not just moving and trying to have some security, to have some plan B, if I can say, but test it. I mean, do it and try to do it now because yeah, to not have any regrets and say, oh, I should have done it and I haven't done it. So many sees that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But
So
it was fun. It was a real fun and is great story. It's so great, and I can't just tell. I'm so happy to have all my employees as well as my wife to support that journey because it's not always easy, but
So,
it's worth it.
what's now about acquisition of customers at that point? Because as you mentioned,
Yeah.
like you were in an area where there was many customers. So, as you said, are you knocking at their doors, or are you sending them a letter, or are you just sending them an email? I can help you, or I mean, what was your way to collect those customers?
I had the happy situation that I was already great connected
Okay,
because of my former company and with my mentor, he connected me with a lot of people. And then we had the Medical Valley organization where I have been already introduced through conferences to lectures, what I do, and all the others. So that made me already a good start for being visible. And that being visible, that step is important if you want to grow. And because in our space, going to a person knocking on the door or calls or something that does not work. We all work with connection, and that connection needs to be established. And very important, it needs to be maintained.
cool, sure.
So you need to have a few days per year where you go to conferences knowing you're not investing right now. You invest in maintaining the organizations, the connections, and there might be a contract later on.
So, did you had while you were acquiring this customer? I suppose that the spirit is like I need to satisfy them at 150% or 200% so that they are really happy. Did you had some fail on this? Like I try to satisfy them, but at the end, like no, they are not happy at all, and I will lose them as customers. But it's fine, it's okay.
Yes, yes, we had customers which don't come back to us because there have been things which have been rather stupid. I don't
Okay.
know what happened, but we couldn't agree on deliverables.
Okay.
So we made the deliverables. So as a fun thing is, it's not one of my colleagues. It was my personal project, which was personally me. We made up the deliverables. I brought them the deliverables as planned and as organized, and they wanted different ones. I said, "What? We
Okay.
discussed, we do that. No, but we need to have this and that and this and that. Yes, but we discussed to have that. Yes, but." And that the first time I said, okay, that sounds weird. Let's adapt it to. I'm very happy it was no fixed price project. Let's fix their problems at that point. And afterwards, after we fixed it, exactly what they wanted and told me, they came up with, no, that's not what we want. I said, okay, I don't understand you. And we spoke the same native language. I said, I don't understand you, what you want. So in that point, I knew we need to close that contract. That will never work out. Right now, that's one of in the company. That's one of the biggest KPIs, returning customers and
Okay.
long-term customers. So that's something you really, really need to have available because our market, our medical device regulatory market, with even with a lot of startups which are founded, is not limitless. So you need to ensure that you have a customer base which comes back because you deliver good work. That's how it means you always need to deliver good work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then you have to define with the customer what is good work and what they are exactly expecting.
Yes, on some projects where we have feeling this might get weird, we
Okay.
have that actually prepared that we do a direct planning about these are the deliverables, that is what you get, and this is how it will look like, and that's included and that's not included. But there are many customers where we have a feeling we will work together very well, so we don't need that.
Okay. No, I think it's did you had made because I have made that myself on my company, but did you have made some mechanism for filtering some customers
Yes, yes,
to say, for example, before to start a work, maybe let's do a small project, a small thing like a gap analysis or like a report or whatever, and you pay just that. For me, it was my strategy because at the beginning they say, "Oh, can you make us like a quotation for everything?" And then I review all their documentation, I check what is good, what is bad, what has to be done, etc. And this take me
yes,
1 week of work. And at the end, when I give them the quote, they say, "Oh no, we are not happy." I say, "I spent 1 week to do for nothing." Then, so now we are doing like, let's do a diagnostic phase. We call that a diagnostic phase. So we receive your document, we check everything, we make a quotation, and then if you are not even able to pay this small amount that we are asking you for this small thing, why should we continue to make the project with you? Because you will be not a really great customer for us.
yes. Actually, yes. There's a that's depending on the mindset. If we have a connection with that client, even it's a small one, we think about do we need to have that startup or kick phase or not?
Okay.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you have a fishy feeling or
Yeah,
something is not
exactly.
correct. Then you say, okay, you need to do that. But what we found out also in positively, most of the startups do not need to do that. So
Yeah,
small companies don't have such problems. And therefore, I have no problem to invest 1, 2, or 3 hours for free into a small startup in the beginning to get them accepting a certain level and what they need. And then later on say, okay, yeah, let's do that. And then we run. That's okay. But for there are other companies, mostly in a bigger scale, where they wanted to have a previous proof or something like that. And then we start with, as you do with a small project, and then see what we can do.
exactly.
Else, there are other companies, big organizations, and we have the connection is so nice in the beginning, then it works straightforward.
Exactly. Yeah. I think, as you said, when you have this smells, it smells not good,
Yeah,
really. It's strange. They're asking me too much or a lot of things, but at the end, I'm not really feeling good
yeah,
to work
yes.
with them. So I feel maybe that. So did you had some when you started your business or you work with Beyond Quality? So did you had some challenges or something that you say, "Oh, this was my biggest challenge at the beginning when I started this"?
Biggest challenge.
or a challenge, any challenge that maybe
Ooh, any
anybody can
challenge.
get at the beginning. So
Ah, there are always challenges. So one of my there are a few. Let's split it into a bit different things. One was the mental challenge inside the head that you're now responsible for a lot of people. You need to take care about that. That is a bit different than it was when I was freelance or when I was just hired at a company.
hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss, or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com.
So then I had on one point I had a colleague which I really highly respect, and but we didn't get along. After
Okay.
a short time, we haven't been able to work together anymore. And
Okay.
then we decided to split away. So that's okay. These are challenges which are normal. So, but I still like him, and it's still a very nice personal connection, but I cannot work with that guy anymore. So, but that's different story. And yes, these are challenges. And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I suppose, yeah, when you start to have some partners within your
yeah.
company, there can be some. It's like a wedding, a marriage, if I can say so. It's difficult sometimes when things are not going well. Should you already split, or should you try to arrange everything, or it's difficult that, huh?
Yes, as well as you always need to consider, is that the way of work you want to go?
Yeah.
Or do you have a different opinion? And is your opinion justifiable? And who is correct at the end? So that's it's fun. That's a part of growing and a part of growing a company. However, afterwards now, it's a I don't have any negative emotions on that. It was a challenge. So that time point when I was, it really annoyed me, and it went there really into the deepest of my heart that it will not work out. It just rather painful. However, hey, it
Yeah, but
ended up great,
let's
great guy still.
let's go back to that. But for people that
Yeah.
are listening to us now, if they want to partner with somebody, if I can say for that, so is there advice that you want to give them to say be careful of this or that, or no, there is no advice because it's like there is no real science that it will work or not work, whatever. You have to try anyway. So
Um, I'm always takes a guts feeling in that case.
okay.
But still, it still can happen that it does not work well. You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
So,
it's difficult.
but
I know because I have also some partners, and I had also some situation with some partners, and
mm,
it's not really easy because yeah, I suppose you are here like, oh, what I have done, maybe I will have some situation, etc. They will talk about me on conferences saying, oh, I failed this or failed that. So it's mainly, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's more like you're thinking like inside yourself, like you are not feeling very well for this. So it's mainly about that. But yeah, mainly this is
that's
Heidi.
so if I don't feel well in a situation at first, so then until nothing happened, we can dissolve that without problems. But after we have that connection and it started to feel unwell, or you see that there will be different pathways, that's not easy.
Yeah,
But you, nevertheless, we all are adults.
yeah, exactly.
So we should work as adults. And if you see, hey, it does not work, let's find out how we can dissolve it together on a good way. And that's what you need to do. Unfortunately, I need to run through that, but luckily, it was not that bad because we still like each other
Yeah, yeah.
personally,
No,
but
no,
not on things. So that's good. So let's see.
exactly.
Let's see. You never know. You never know what happens.
Exactly. Now in terms of customers, so I
Hmm?
suppose you as you said you started maybe at the time of, before MDR or at the time of MDR.
Yeah.
Did MDR really increase your business, or did MDR was like a accelerator for you, or how do you see that?
So I started my business. So the GmbH I started 2017, but my freelance business was founded 2013. So I had way prior to MDR, I had that taking over, knowing about what you need to do. Just the company was founded in that point. However, does it accelerate? No, I don't think so. I think those projects, most of the projects would have happened anyway,
Okay.
even without MDR. And um, I would have anticipated there would be more from the MDR, which will give us additions. However, we didn't, and that's, I have such a great team, and that's super important. I have such a good team, which sometimes holds me a bit back and tells me, come down. No, we don't take that. We cannot
Okay.
afford to do that. Go, we need to grow more organic. And that's lovely. It's really lovely that you have persons in the team which tell you their opinions. And that's important. Because right now, hey, we have at Bio Quality, we have at the moment, we have 27 persons. And you need to feed them. So my job is to get products and
Exactly.
projects. And they tell you at a certain point, hey, no, not anymore. There are sufficient projects. We need to close all of that first. And we are
Exactly.
not able to hire another person because we cannot grow that person into the company. And that's not
So
that
it's
easy.
like it's also like growing a culture within your company, like
Yeah.
something that is sharing that we are not here to just get customers, and maybe deliver a bad result at the end, or bad projects. The idea is like quality, and also, yeah, just we know what we are able to do. No need to go, yeah, on more projects.
Yeah. Whenever we get a new hire, that hire needs to be on quality.
Exactly.
See? See?
Okay, so Um, beyond quality now, you are, as you say, hiring. You are in Germany. You are
Yeah.
helping a lot of manufacturers, I suppose, not only in Germany, but many other countries. So, do you have some types of customers that you prefer than others, or like some types of customers that not prefer, but more like it's easier. It will be easier with this type of customer than with another type.
Unearth the pulse of the MedTech world with MedTech Conf, a dynamic platform featuring global events on medical devices, biologicals, IVD, and pharmaceuticals. Stay informed, stay ahead, connect, share, and elevate your knowledge. Become an official sponsor, make your event shine on the map. MedTech Conf, your key to the MedTech universe. Remember, the future is now, and it's at your fingertips with MedTech Conf.
No, I would not say. Well, no. I would not say easier. I would say different.
Yeah, different, or yeah,
I can tell personally, for my side, for me, it's easier if that companies from technology, so electrical engineering and or software engineering. So because that's my type of products which I can support best.
exactly.
However, so for me, that is something where I like those the most. But then I have plenty of great colleagues who can do sterilization and biological products, substance-based products, combination products, yada, 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 the full scope. I can't do that because, but they can. Therefore, for me, yes, those are not my best customers, but they are their best customers. And therefore, that is okay. And we didn't find, I don't find a metric about if there is a specific segment of persons or companies who are not that good as the others. It's all happening between the persons, and sometimes what we also we are very happy to be able to do that. Sometimes you need to switch the consultants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
Sometimes, yeah, we found out in some projects it does not. It's the chemistry does not feel good, and then we are quite open with all of the clients. So listen, whenever you need to do something or have a problem, come to me or some other guys from our senior consultants. Talk to them. We find opportunities to change that. You can escalate at any time. We are open for you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's rare. It's really rarely happening, but it's doable. And sometimes you need to do that because sometimes it does not fit from chemistry.
So sometimes you have some customers like startups that have no clue at all about quality and regulatory affairs and about the regulations. And sometimes you have customers like maybe big groups that already are in the business, already have medical device, already have some ISO or some
Yeah,
certifications.
yeah.
So which one are easier in that case? Why I'm saying that? Because sometimes we have
Hmm?
some customers like the ones that are already knowledgeable. They already tell you what they want. They want this, they want that, they want this, they want that, they want this on certain way, etc. etc. And you have the others that have no clue what they want. They just say, "Help me. I'm here. I don't know what we should do. I just want a certificate at the end. Tell me what we should do to make that happen."
No, I don't have a generalistic view on if there are one easier or not that easy. I don't have that generalistic one, so that's always personal. And sometimes it really helps to exchange the consultants as well and to make it better in the communication so that it eases up both sides. And sometimes it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. When I have a few clients for which have been formerly my clients, where I personally was acting for them, it went well. However, at some point, it stopped for me because I always have been repeating myself about this needs to be done, and it was repeating and repeating. And then after a few things, a few rounds, I said it's not my one. I changed myself against another consultant who is not that, who is a bit more, let's say, that guy is a bit more resilient and is not that fast frustrated as I am. Therefore, it is better to change for both of them. So I still help that one client for specific requests about their regulatory strategies, their country approvals, and all that stuff. But for the quality targets, someone else does it.
Okay. And also with clients, do you have some stories maybe about also pricing? Because mainly sometimes when you are asked by a client how much this costs, and then you start to provide a certain cost and they are more like, oh, it's too expensive, or no, I didn't expect that, or your competitors is making it less, etc. So do you have some discussions like that also with some customers, or no, they are all
Rarely.
saying yes, we accept your price and it's
Ah,
fine.
no, no, not all of them say yes. We accept the price. Some go to different companies, but that's okay. However, I have no one who had a negative emotions with the pricings. So sometimes they want to change or reduce the pricing because sometimes they are triggered by their management to do that. Sometimes they see, hey, they get it from different clients. That, okay, if you think that is what you need, do that. Afterwards, if you found out that does not work and you come back, my pricing is higher.
Exactly.
But it
It's a
never
deal.
happened. It's, to be honest, that's just a bluff because it's my core to help any manufacturer to bring safe products on the market. So if they found out we went with them, it does not went out, I don't increase the pricing as a penalty. I just okay, let's do that together now and bring it to over the road.
No, it's great. Yeah. No, it's and because yeah, so we saw with some companies that are coming, for example, to some consulting firm that they find that yeah, the price is really high, and we saw also the price of notified bodies also that were exploding, etc. So now the budget for MDR looks like huge for some companies, and they are a bit desperate and say, okay, I'm not able to pay all this. How can we do, etc. etc. So this is also something that is important to explain mainly about some pricing there.
This morning I had a call with my notified buddies, how's it called? Customer relationship manager,
Mhm.
and talked to him and said, hey, I don't like your pricing, but at the end of the day, I will pay anyway. But I wanted to tell you I don't like it. And he said, yeah, I was sure you say you don't like it, but at the end of the day, you will pay.
Exactly.
So what can we do? Nothing, nothing. So
Exactly.
my point is, with the notified body costs. Let's create a technical documentation which is so good that they don't go to 3 rounds, they just
Exactly.
go one or two rounds and then save the money. there is more money in it.
Exactly. Because it's what I tell also to my customers. I say that mainly when they will give you a price, double it, make it to times two. Because if you go to round one, round two, round three, then you'll have to pay anywhere higher price. So don't just look at this price like that. But if yes, if you are really working with consultants that are really knowledgeable about all this, the objective is to help you to have a no round at all or one round only. But the idea is just to have a. It's funny always because when you have those discussion with notified bodies, it's like, oh, there is a one round of question, and when you see the question, it's like stupid question. I didn't was not able to find this document. On this document, it says this, but at the end, it's like really stupid thing. But it's the game. So as you say, we have to pay it. We have to pay it. So we have to go through that. Now let's talk more about you as the CEO of Beyond Quality. So we have this idea of building your business will make you more free with maybe at the end you can drive a Porsche or you can have holidays. You can go to the beach and you have your computer and you can work from there. So is this a myth or is this reality? Do you have a Porsche on the your garage?
I drive a Kia.
Okay.
It's a reliable SUV. It's on based on high quality for an affordable pricing, so it's exactly something which fits me, and therefore I'm fine with. I don't. I'm not interested in cars at all. However, I'm not interested in that. I tr like to travel, so it's I can spend my earnings in the ways I want. So, but it's not such super huge amounts where they say, "Oh, that's so much and it's unreasonable." No, it's not. You first. At first, I need to look out for all of my employees. That's the thing. As a CEO, you always have in mind about the big guys from the multi-billion dollar companies or the hedge fund people. No, most of the CEOs think first about the company and the employees, especially when the company is below 100 or 200 persons. First the persons, then themselves. Yes, they have benefits, like I do as well. I have benefits to organize myself as I want. However, it's not so overdone, but I'm happy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy with everything I have, and I am happy with how it is. But it's not so over romanticized and saying, yes, I'm working on the beach. Sometimes I work on the beach, which means I don't have a full holiday.
Exactly.
It's a different story if you work only on the beach
Exactly.
or if you work on the beach as well as in the normal office. But
Exactly. No, it's
what you
it's more
choose.
about that. So do you have some idea of how many hours you are working per week, for example, or is it like normal hours, or you think more, or I mean, in average?
What is normal hours?
Yeah, I don't
So
know
I would
what's normal hours. So to be honest, also
I would say I would say per week on average 50.
50. Yeah, so it's good average. Yeah,
So
because
yeah, yeah.
the idea is also to have some people that are here also, I suppose, for family and having some fun. It's not like working work life we call that work life balance. Do you have some work life balance here?
No, because I do not like that work-life balance, because that means work is outside of life.
Exactly.
Work is not outside of life. Work is part of life. So I have a office time and a home time. That's a different story. And yes, I can organize myself. And it's a 50 hours. I effectively work on projects and others, but then you have the over hours, what you do in organize the company, looking into that stuff as well. But that's something I really like to do. Something I
Exactly.
really like to do. And then I take in the let's call it on a Saturday afternoon. Sometimes I sit on the veranda of my house and I say, okay, oh, I wanted to write something for my colleagues. I want to do this and that, this and this, and okay. Then I type it in Teams, write them a short little information about next week that happens, next week, this week that happens, da, 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 and we look to the, or also I review what it's also not calculated hours or working time. It's when I read guidance documents, when I read the MDCGs, I read them and look into all of the data for a few hours, summarize it, and give it to colleagues or other colleagues. So I read all the summaries. That things which you don't. which you do not have on the clock. The things you
Okay.
do in addition. So you have the 50 billables, from my perspective, 50 billables plus the other, let's call it a day on additional work, but that does not count, I would
So,
say, for me.
would you say that the fact that yes, you like your job also, you like what you are doing makes it like easier instead of you maybe working in a job that is not really enjoyable, even if you are the boss, but not working in a job that is not enjoyable and you are really happy to come home because you are really tired of this, etc. So,
I'm in the happy situation that I love my job. Therefore, I cannot tell you how the other side is.
yeah, true also. Yeah, for me, I was working for when I was young. I was working for some companies for
Hmm?
packaging, so something as a young, if I can say,
Hmm?
as a
Yeah.
summer holiday, summer job. And to be honest, when I was working on that, I was thinking to myself, I will never. I have to work hard on school to have a job that I like because I cannot work on that all my life. So I was seeing my father working on that, etc. And I was like, not for me. I really want something that I like and enjoy also.
Okay. Okay. For that, yes, I can agree on that. I when I was young, my first job was I was an apprentice as an electrician.
Okay.
So housing installation, industry installation with the big wires, that has been my job. And yes, we've been there in buildings. So in prior, the building has electricity, which means if you don't have electricity, you don't have a heating system. And it was winter. It was not winter in South France. It was winter in Germany. And it's well,
Close to
but that's
Poland.
some yeah, close to Poland, yeah. And in that case, actually, pretty close. It was sometimes on that particular one, which I remember is 30 kilometers to the Polish border, and it was fun on a different level, and now it's fun on another level. I'm happy. I am happy, and I'm happy to have a super great colleagues and a wonderful wife, which it helps me to get all of that.
I can imagine, yeah. Just another question, maybe also that I'm asking mainly about you. So, do you have any fears actually within maybe your life or your company or anything that you are doing here? Like something like say, oh,
Yes.
I'm really afraid of this.
It was pretty funny when as you go, you gave me a bit of a few questions for the preparation. So, do I have fears? And yes, I do.
Okay,
Um, I have two fears actually. One is that the project load does not work out for all of the people. So it says that, okay, do I have a mitigation against that fear? And said, yes, that's quite simple. Every day, nearly every day in the morning when I'm in the shower, I calculate the revenue for this month and the projects for the next upcoming few months.
okay.
Nearly every day, at least every Monday, which is actually perfect in the mind. But I'm pretty sure that I do that nearly every year. Um, sorry, every day, and it's funny. However, yes, that helps me to get through that points, to know what comes forward, to anticipate. And my real fear is since we grow bigger and bigger, um, I need to let loose on some things.
Okay.
And my job evolved more into well, I still do a lot of consulting on my own, which I will never skip, but I some other things like our hiring procedures, for instance, is completely done by someone else. And I have still a bit of the personal fears that I cannot give them sufficient mentoring, or I am not, how can I say? Um, Not perfect for them to lead them to the next level, to bring
Okay.
them forward. That's a bit of a fear I really have, which I always try also to look at. Am I good enough for my colleagues to grow them?
So micromanagement is
No,
how you
nothing.
okay, you are not.
Null, nothing, nothing, nothing. I don't do that at all because it blocks my time, it blocks their time. I need to give them everyone this freedom as they need. And for but still that's my fear that I'm not Well, to put it differently, I have the fear that my colleagues, especially the ones on my senior level, are not able anymore to look up to me.
Okay.
And that's something which is psychologically rather interesting.
Okay.
Um, Therefore, I try to always be a bit faster than them in reading documents and looking into things, which blocks a lot of my time. But I'm not sure if that's worth it at the end of the day. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But in my heart, I know most of my senior consultants or my business area leads don't need me at all. They can
Great.
do everything on their own. But I want them to see me and they're still in the positions that I can bring them individually benefit.
Yeah, true.
And that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my fear. That's my
Okay.
fear that I don't have benefit for my senior consultants anymore.
I
Nope.
can imagine. Any fear about artificial intelligence?
No.
No? It will not
No.
replace your job, you think?
No. No.
No?
I don't think so.
Impossible?
It will help us and it will be used. It will change our perspectives and tasks to work with. It will reduce a few tasks, but no. Um, it is a people business, so we don't unless unless we are sitting on the other side against an AI, we talk people to people. The reviewers are people, the inspectors are people, the auditors are people. We talk people to person, and that still we build the factor for the next 50, 100 years, hopefully, because that what makes our technology so human.
Exactly. And I suppose artificial intelligence, as you say, it's a tool. So we can use it
Yeah.
to help us as an assistant or to help us to summarize a document or to help us to save some time of doing things that are maybe boring or too time consuming. But at the end, you are still in control of what you are providing also.
Looking a bit into the past, um, I remember the time when the requirement engineering tools came into play.
Yeah.
We said, yes, requirement engineering tools, and we don't need requirement engineers anymore. We don't need them to write down requirements because it's all in the tool. Which group of persons in the companies have been increased the most with implementing the tools? The requirement
Okay.
engineers.
Yeah.
So those have not been the one who have been replaced. Those grow. And with AI, especially AI and regulatory, we have an outcome which tells us it is a certain way, or it gives me a certain information. And then we still need to do other informational sources or other knowledge, and then we need to harvest it. So I think our work can be a bit more clever, a bit more fun. However, I don't fear AI.
So, would you also advise people to train themselves on AI and to not fear it
Sure.
on that way? So, because I suppose some people say, "Oh, we never use AI. I'm the guy that know everything, so I don't need AI to help me, etc." So, or no, you have to really be trained on this kind of technology.
I think that everything I need to know, I know by heart, but I'm not an idiot.
Exactly.
So I use AI to help me to ensure that I have remembered everything or get new perspectives or ideas. But maybe did it in the past. Okay. I have the comfortable situation that I have a good team. And with the team, I just ask them, I have questions that, hey, I have some ideas, some opinions, and is that something worse? Right now, I don't do that. I ask Copilot first if it's a good idea. If
Okay.
Copilot tells me, yes, could be a good idea, then I ask my colleagues as well if it's a good idea. And
Okay.
we do that still. We do some kind of, sometimes you have a chat with all employees and we place there it, okay, I have the following intended purpose for the product. Please tell me what kind of class it is. And I post a little poll behind it. And then you get comments with, it is said because of rule, da, 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 and this topic, and you need to look at it. Then I get another one with, but no, it could also be under that circumstances an IVD or da, 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 da. And that is the fun. And I could ask AI as well to do that. However, it would not grow. And that grows. That grows knowledge, that grows person.
Okay, so great. Because I think a lot of people are fearing now AI to say, Even some people are fearing that the customers will not use consultants anymore because they will
Ah,
just go to AI and ask, create me my quality manual, create me my technical documentation, etc. But I tried AI and it will not do that at all. You have to spend hours and hours and hours with it to maybe create that at the end, but it's not like just one question and you get everything. So you have to, it's why I'm saying you have to learn to use it because it can help you to create it. But if you don't know what to create at the end, or you don't have no knowledge about a technical file, you will not be able to use it because they will provide you something you think, oh, it's fine now, it's good, I have it. Well, present that to
okay.
everybody, you will fail. So this is the objective also.
So when you look into the standards or the, in former cases, the 21 CFR 20, it says establish a quality manual. Establish means define, document, implement. You need to define it. Maybe AI can document it, but then you need to implement it. And that implement means I need to train persons.
Yeah,
Persons, not AI. I need to train another person. And then you need still need the persons available.
exactly. Yeah. So learn AI. Don't be afraid of
Yes,
it.
always, always.
Um,
Well, not specifically AI. Learn about the tools you need.
Exactly. Yeah, because maybe you don't need that. It's a palette of tools that you can use maybe, and this one can be one of them. But don't use it systematically for everything. Just if you need it,
Yes,
really use that for inspiring you or helping you. But no need to make it like a rule to because like what I'm seeing maybe in the future is like people will not think anymore. They just ask AI and the AI says yes, it's good, it's fine. So it's which makes a bit like people yeah not thinking
yes,
anymore. Um,
exactly.
just a last question. What's next for you now on Beyond Quality?
Yeah, what's next? That's pretty funny. Because the next step is merging. So
Okay,
we've been growing. I have had a very great trend with my people. So we grow very organic. We went to certain conferences. We had sufficient power. We penetrated the market quite well. We made a good efforts together. We have a lot of fun together. And we went into very good situations, how we want to build the companies. And we nearly grow by personal reference more than real hires. But that changed in the last time as well. So we are getting more professional. And what's next for beer quality is, well, we expand a few of our services. That's one of the things like implementing AI into medical devices, which we started last year already, and a few other things which come to us, and we want to go more into the clinical trial area, and so see expanding services and hiring new people. And the good, funniest thing is, we've been last months, we have been partnering up with the Volca Group in France, which has also another company. So we have now a sister company, it's a company Beyond Conception in Switzerland. So we have, which can do combination products and which have a super great persons where we can team up together and make it even better impact. So real deep impact. And that helps us to get on the next stage because we are now, yes, also a bit more professional because the journey to partnering helped us a lot about internal structure, internal organization. And that's saying what we started in the beginning of last year already with my colleagues, Karina and Stephanie, who helped me a lot. No, well. I don't say, can tell, say they don't help me. They drove me a lot to more organizational professionalism.
okay,
And that was a great journey last year. It was a journey I not always liked. So it was
okay.
not always my favorite pathway, but it's okay. It drove me very well to that direction so that we get more. And now we have a new partner, and with that a big partner, we can reach different sizes, different areas, and that
So
helps a lot.
when you say you get a
Yeah.
partner, you get acquired, or it's that?
Yes, we get acquired and merged. Yeah.
Okay, great. When you say
It's a
it's the next
fun.
level, it's next level in which way?
Well, we have now additional partners, additional company where we can source to or help with or
Okay,
get more information, more knowledge for with, I don't know, with around 40, 50 people who are in the same spirit as we are, and we
okay,
can make a bigger impact together. And also with the partner who acquired us, these are very great professionals that make a lot of good things that help us organizational wise to be better.
So you grow your family now. It's like that.
Something like that, yes, yes, let's call it like that. Yeah.
Great. I mean, um, this achievement, if I can say, was an objective at a certain point, or it just arrived like that?
It was not an objective. I never thought about that, but I've learned about that person who wants to partner with us. They are very good.
Okay.
It had the right feelings that we need to do that. Said we discussed that in the company. So in the full company, we discussed that super transparent together.
Okay.
What is your fears? What do you think it is a good idea, bad idea? And after we have had that discussions back and forth, and they said, yes, let's do that because it's a
Okay.
good idea. Then we went to the next step and say, let's do it.
So it was not your own decision. It was really the decision of, I mean, the decision. There was a discussion. It's your decision at the end, but
Yes,
maybe the discussion with the team, instead of you just arriving one morning and say, "Oh, guys, we were acquired by this company, etc."
yes. So once we started with the discussions about that, I already informed the senior consultants a month later, all other consultants and associates to talk with them on different ideas levels, what they see, what they want, what they have kind of fears about what's coming, and if it would have been too big, or if they see, we see many negative things, I would have stopped that. Yes, at the end,
Okay.
it's my decision to do that. However, I need to involve them to get the spirit together. Because without all the colleagues, I am nothing.
Exactly.
Sorry.
It's more about if they don't trust this at
Yeah.
all, they will leave. So it's where and
Yeah.
you will lose a lot of resources and yeah, good
Ex-
workers there.
Exactly. And I'm very happy that we got very good feedback from our colleagues that they said, okay. Some of them said, yeah, why not? Does it change something for me? No. All
Okay.
right, good. Others said, well, I'm a bit conservative. Others said, yes, let's do that. That looks good. The idea seems good. And then have been others which I really, really liked. They said, okay, Stefan, I can tell you, I don't like change.
Okay.
So I would not like to do that. However, we trust you to take the same decision, the right decision. Therefore, we will overcome that. No worry.
Okay.
And
So
that's what I really liked. And it's okay. Yes, they go with me on that board, and we take that ship and make it a bigger boat and
we'll
see
see in
what will
future if everything
happen.
is fine. You
Yes,
take you take the risk, as you said at the beginning of this episode, to say you have to take some risk, so you take the risk and we'll see.
exactly, exactly. That's
Great.
business.
Great, great. Okay, so we are nearly at the end of this episode. So from 0 to 1, you have made this whole journey that you have told us with all these stories and everything, etc. So would you advise people to do that, or when would you not advise people to do that? So what are maybe your advice in say do this if really that, or don't do that if that? So
It depends what you want. If you see it could be a good idea, you want to see different products, different clients, that's a good idea. If you want to say, hey, I like my scope and I want to be best in my scope, then don't do it. But if you say, hey, I want to go out, I want to be different, then do it. Um, and then the most important stuff is a thing is, which I learned later, you need, if you want to grow, you need, so freelance is easy. But if you want to grow later on, you need to have persons who you can trust. And those persons need to be the same persons who are openly able to tell you their opinion
okay,
without sugarcoating. And that's super important. And I'm really happy about all of the company employees, everyone, because there's no one doing sugarcoating. No one.
great,
And that is super important. That's the spirit we want to aim with. We said, okay, we need to work together and therefore we need to trust each other. And to trust each other is shown best by telling you if I have a different opinion.
okay.
Yeah,
So it's good.
that's our story and our advice on that. But we will see what the future brings. I hope
Exactly. Yeah.
good things. And anyway, I still have sufficient time to stay somewhere on the beach. So no worry.
Great. So great. Thanks very much, Stefan, for all this story, and I hope it will be inspiring people and that they will be really learning from this journey. As said, what we try to do with this kind of episode is to bring some professionals to explain what they are doing on day to day. We'll maybe get, I hope, sometime a quality manager from a manufacturer that will tell us what are their journey, what are their frustration, how they are doing mainly to deal with some departments in their company. So we try really to make that. So I hope really it will be inspiring. And thank you, Stefan, because this is mainly was a great information sharing by yourself. And also congratulations again by your the acquisition.
Okay.
And hoping that maybe in 2-3 years, I don't know, I will re-invite you here. I hope to be still there, and then we can rediscuss about the journey and if it went well.
Yeah, I'm very happy to do that. I'm
Great.
happy to do that.
Thank you. So thank you, Stefan, and I wish you a nice day.
Thank you, you too. Bye, Munir.